This is More Knowledge, More Wealth with your host, Gabriel Shahin. Gabriel is a certified financial planner and a registered investment advisor at Falcon Wealth Planning. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this broadcast and does not represent that the services or securities discussed are suitable for any investor. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the broadcast in the process of making a full informed investment decision. Now here's your host, Gabriel Shahin.
Good day. This is Gabriel Shahin, certified financial planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend, talking about all important topics of personal finance. My job is to go over the knowledge you need to increase your wealth. Now, to the listener, you can always reach out to myself or any one of our colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can have an inquiry page right there so we can reach out to you if you need help. Or go to that Knowledge Center. So much fantastic information there. Redirects you to YouTube, which is our Knowledge Center. And there's so many great videos. It was based on what you wanted to talk about. You just sent an email to radio@falconwp.com. That's radio@falconwp.com, where we were able to create your questions and put them on for evergreen content for people to listen to and watch, which has now over 1 million views. So we're extremely excited about that. And if you want this episode, any one of our previous episodes, you can also get that on the Knowledge Center or just podcast, Spotify, you name it. Now, folks, I'm the president of Falcon Wealth Planning. We are the only non-commissioned true fiduciary, folks, and we talk about all important topics of personal finance. It could be where you are today, how retirement looks, talk about Social Security, retirement, pension, taxes, investments, insurance, estate planning, folks, you name it, right? Anything that involves a dollar sign, we can help you with, which is why we're offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time, folks, at no cost. We would love to help. Doesn't matter where you're located. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. We'd love to be able to relate this show to your specific situation. Folks, lots to go and talk about right now as we're past the mid-year mark of 2024. And there's a lot of talk with U.S. Federal Chair Jerome Powell announcing considerable progress of tackling inflation. Right now, the CPI index, which is at about 3.3% year over year, just is showing that, costs are still going up more. It's about 50% more they're comfortable with. Now, what does that mean? The target for the government is 2%, right? What's 50% of 2? Well, 1% increase. So it's roughly 3%. A lot better than 8 and 9% that we were getting a few years back during the COVID crisis, right? But how has that affected you? For example, I'm going to use just a simple kind of focus here of costs have gone up. We know that. Or if the costs haven't gone up, you've gotten less. They call that shrinkflation. We did an episode on that a while back. And so when you're looking at inflation, true numbers, in the 80s, our government took away home prices and rents from the inflation number. We could argue inflation is very similar during the Jimmy Carter years in the high teens and 20%. Why? Well, since pre-COVID, 2019, okay, the average home price was $325,000 because it states there's been a 54% increase in home prices since 2019. So the average home price, doing that math, $500,000, which is, oh, by the way, what a lot of reports say, average home price is $500,000. Now, back then, right, on a $325,000 home, you needed 20% down, which was $65,000 at a 2.5% mortgage. Because remember, not only has home prices gone up, but the interest rate's gone up too. So if you would have back then only needed $65,000, buying a house for $325,000 at a 2.5% rate, your mortgage was $1,027 a month for the remaining amount of the 80% of the mortgage. So $1,000 a month, not including property tax, insurance, HOA, but just principal and interest, the mortgage. Now it's $500,000. Well, you're going to get a loan not for $500,000, but $400,000 because you need $100,000 down, not the $5,000 down. Okay. Rates now are what? 7.5%. The increase of a mortgage payment goes from $1,027 to almost $2,800. That's an increase of 173% in 5 years. So I don't look at it as home prices are up 54%. I look at the interest rates as well. The payment hit, which is the affordability index captures this data, is more like 173%, which is why more people are renting now than ever, because it's not affordable to buy. I mean, that's insanity. So much so, you have institutions that hold 1 million homes across the country. Why? So you can buy from them, or excuse me, you can rent from them. I mean, Congress is right now trying to get a hold on that, whether it's endowments, pension funds, hedge funds, private equities, whatever. The institutional money is going into residential real estate because they're thinking to themselves, let's affect the supply by buying it all. We'll force people to rent. I hear this Grant Cardone guy tells all the time, don't buy, rent. Well, of course, he has a bunch of real estate he wants you to rent from. Smart, actually. Kudos to him. But taking it back to you, has your pay gone up 173%? Or has the total cost of inflation, let's call it 30%, has your pay gone up 30% just a COVID crash in the past few years? This is the struggle Americans are having. You have two record numbers here. Record number one, high credit card balances, highest it's ever been in American history. Number two, you have a low savings rate. There was a report that came out a couple of years back saying if an emergency happened where you needed to access over $400, that 60% of America couldn't have access to $400. It is sad. But this is the reality we live in. There are those that are doing well, very well, right? The good, and those that are doing very poorly. My point for those who are doing poorly is, where do you draw the line and what can you do today to get yourself in a better position? By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, certified financial planner and president of Falcon Wealth Planning, your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth. And today I'm just talking about basic concepts of what you could be doing to increase your savings. And really, the first step is to take a look at your situation. If in any way you can put yourself in a position where you can cut back, and I know I might get backlash from people saying, you don't know how I live. You don't know how much my mortgage is. If I move further away, or excuse me, not mortgage, how much my rent is. Well, now I'm just paying more in gas. Places like Southern California, that could be over $5 a gallon. So it doesn't make as much sense. But if there is a way where you can put yourself in a position where you can maybe cut back on that Netflix, cut back on the brand name cereals, on the brand name shoes, on getting the new phone, not getting the nicest phone. There's cell phone services out there for $25 a month. If you could put yourself in a position without the cable, yes, it'd be uncomfortable for a while, boring for a while. But the idea is just putting yourself in a situation. Yes, it's one step back, but it could be infinite steps forward. And step number one would be to tackle that. Well, step number one is you need at least that $500, $400 that the study came out that said most people don't have. I'll raise it to $1,000. Then from there, start tackling that credit card debt. If you have it, stop using it, cut it up, because you're paying 20%. We're survivors, guys. We'll find a way to survive. It's going to be painful. Might have to be top ramen, non-nutritious meals, whatever it has to be. But everybody has those stories. You hear it on Shark Tank all the time. Mark Cuban saying he's living off of top ramen. Putting yourself in a position where you can succeed starts with having $1,000 in the bank, starting to tackle those credit card debts. And here's what I would say. If your employer does offer a retirement account, and let's just say they match 3 to 4%, maybe you have to save 3 to 4, 5% to do so, do it. It's 100% return. And quite frankly, let me take it a step further. Think about the logic. If an emergency hits, okay, you can take out that money. Okay, so let's just say you put in $5,000 for the year. And you're like, Gabriel, you told me to do it, but now I'm struggling. The employer matched $5,000. So now you have 10. You got 100% return on your money. If you need to pull out that $10,000, I'm assuming you're not in the highest tax bracket, probably cost you 15% in taxes between federal and state, depending on where you live, but assuming you're not in high tax bracket. Plus the 10% penalties, so that's 25, right? So you're paying taxes plus penalty, because the penalty is 10% on the federal level. There is none on the state. you still clear $7,500 after tax. And oh, by the way, this assumes it wasn't a Roth, right? Because a Roth, you would only pay the 10% penalty. But what did I just do here? You saved only $5,000, you're pulling out $7,500. You saved $5,000, you pull out $7,500, you still made 50% of your money. That's more than your credit card bill, isn't it? You sometimes just need guidance. That is on the simplest, lowest level of guidance. And ideally, you don't touch that. Because even though you go through your struggle, each raise that you get, sure, it's probably not 173% raise that is out there with the home price increase, with the interest rate increase, but you're putting yourselves in position of success. That simple logic of the calculation of the 401k is financial planning. This is why we're offering a free financial assessment, where we'll give you 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time, folks, at no cost. Those are what I call money hacks, things that are uncomfortable and may go against the logic, but helps you long term. Give us a call. Love to help. We'll give you 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 meetings of our time, folks, at no cost. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, where we can help answer these questions for you. And we have resources on our website where we can give you detailed instructions of what you could be doing that we can help you with. Just have to give us a call to do that. Yet again, phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. We would love to be that resource for you. Everybody needs a start. Sure, firms like us help people in the millions of dollars. I get it. I didn't build this firm only to help the rich get richer. I would love to help the aspiring become financially independent. So folks, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about more important ways to help in your situation to save more on the phase 2 once you take care of that credit card debt, or once you start saving into that retirement account, of how you can get financial security. We'll be right back after a few words. This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth. That's on every weekend. We're going over all important topics of personal finance. We're going over retirement planning, making sure you're prepared for retirement, Social Security and strategies, real estate, taxes, avoiding them now and in the future, investments, reducing fees, commissions, and so on, insurance, and estate planning. Folks, we are offering a free financial assessment that you could take advantage of. We have offices all across Southern California, including the Inland Empire. Give us a call to take advantage. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, or visit our website, falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. Enjoy the show. We look forward to serving you. Welcome back, folks. This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here, and every weekend talking about all important topics of personal finance. And today, we just took a step back. We started talking about inflation. We talked about how our government is controlling inflation a little bit, as our CPI also is about 3.3%. Data shows year over year from May 24 to May from 23. And so we're looking at just all these different things, with credit card rates going through the roof, savings accounts are very low, historic lows. So people are struggling, and it makes sense. But we had 6% inflation, 8% inflation, almost 10% inflation, and even now at that 3% inflation, where we are struggling because we're probably at a higher inflation because just the cost of renting and owning a house has gone through the roof. An example I had is a $325,000 home in 2019. Now in 2024, 5 years later, it's $500,000. In just 5 years, that's a 54% increase. Now you may think, yeah, that's an average of 10%. That's wrong. That's even wrong math. But actually, when you look at the interest rate of 2.5%, now jumping up to 7.5%, your cost to buy a house with mortgage, assuming 20% down, is 173% higher. Instead of $1,000 a month, it's $2,800 a month. Yes, this is a substantial issue that we're finding right now, is people are struggling. So I gave advice in the first go around of how you can probably help just by taking advantage of an employer plan. Find a place that offers 401k match that could also help you as well. The idea with all of this, of course, is taking a look at your situation and what you can do to save money. And so on your next raise, hopefully you should be getting raises, you should be working hard to do that. And if not, find an employer that does value you. Get yourself in an uncomfortable situation by going out there and seeing what you are worth. And also, if you're not treated well at work, that's another thing. Some people say, well, They treat me very well. Well, there's a value to that as well. But if you're doing financially well, then you can afford to take less working at your current employer, assuming you are in fact making less. And so it's just important to get studies. Glassdoor has this where it tells you what average person is making in your field. I think it's worth it. It makes sense. This way you can have some sense of security. But even then, most people even get a 2% raise. You're making $50,000 a year. That's a $1,000 raise on your pay. I'm suggesting take half of that raise and save it into the 401k. I just feel like that's extremely logical. You've survived without that $1,000 already. Save the other half, $500. You still get a $500 raise. And just by doing this, you're able to consistently chip away and maxing out your retirement account, which is step number one. It may take you 10 to 15 years to do it through raises. 50,000 today, maybe in 10 years you get 75,000. Well, that's a $15,000 raise. Half of that, remember, to save in the retirement account, that is $7,500 now that you're saving into the retirement account. And you consistently do that time and time again. And my recommendation for those who are younger, I have a lot of young that also listen to the show, which I commend you for. But the idea is now with that, you should, quite frankly, you should be saving 75% of your pay. You really should, because remember, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, you want to put yourself in a financially strong situation. If you get $1,000 every 2 weeks, spend $250. That's $750. Save it in a Roth 401k, save it in a retirement account, save it in your savings for liquid money. Never get yourself in credit card debt. Keep in mind, I didn't say never do credit card. I love credit cards. I don't like for you to put a balance on them. The people who say that, quite frankly, I call them idiots. I think that's the dumbest advice somebody can ever give, is saying you have to show the credit card company that you can carry a balance and pay it off. That is incorrect. They see activity on the account and they take a snapshot of where it is at the time of credit pull. They always see what the balances are, so they know you're using it. I think whoever came up with that has some conspiracy with the banks that want you to pay the 29% APY interest rate. But consistently saving, and once you max out the retirement account, do it for your spouse. When your spouse does it, assuming you're married, you start doing the Roth. For most people, right? Most people make under $100,000. That's a lot, right? Especially when you save $23,000 a year in your Roth right now. That's a lot of money. That's 23%. I think your target amount should be 15, not including the match. So if they match 4, you're technically saving 19% in your retirement account. But when I look at rich people today, we only see the rich people. We only see they have $1, $2, $5 million. What we don't see is the struggle they went through to get there. The delayed gratification, the driving the 15-year-old car. America has like this car fetish, right? They're so comfortable to get a new car, get a new Tesla at $1,000 a month payment with no home, by the way. How are you supposed to afford a house with now part of your debt to service ratio, right? If you make $5,000 a month, you can't afford a $5,000 mortgage because you have to pay taxes. You have to live. They'll probably say you could save $2,500 a month or spend $2,500, which means 50% of that, they'll say you can qualify for a home. Find a home that's $2,500. Problem is, on a $500,000 home, $2,800, not including property tax and insurance, which is why people can't do it. And these are people bringing $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. Well, now you have a car loan for $1,000. They're not going to say you can still afford $2,500 home because you got to service $1,000 a month. You can only find a home for $1,500 a month. Put yourself in a position. You don't have to be the coolest kid on the block with a nice car, living at your parents' house. Get a used car. There's some fantastic ones out there for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. People need to see. These people will come in and see me in their 50s and 60s a lot of the time, even sometimes 40, sometimes 30. They only see that they have $1 million or $500,000 today. They didn't see the struggle they had to go over to get to that position. The struggle that they had to, the delayed gratification, eating the top ramen, and quite frankly, from what I've seen of successful people, is they now take pride looking back. These are the people that don't blow their money because they respect money. And this is a core thing I see from people who want to succeed, is they respect money. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend. We're talking about all important topics in personal finance, and I'm just trying to share with you some nuggets here to help you succeed. This is me planting the seed with you. So after you buy a car, after you buy a house, after you have a strong retirement account or some liquid assets, then you can come to us to help grow that even more. Delegate that. Find nuggets that can help you in taxes, in investment, in estate planning, in retirement planning, hacks that people don't even know exist. And it's not just the 30, 40, and 50 and 60-year-old, the 70 and 80-year-old come to us as well. Because they realize that the advice that they're getting is either poor or they're working with a commission-based advisor, not a fee-only advisor that makes no commissions of any kind. Not that. Fee-only advisor. And they're able to get advice that they never have because they've been promised this annuity that's going to pay them out for life, saying, hey, you're going to double your money in 10 years no matter what happens to the market. And when they realize they take it out, they're like, oh, no, you can take it out. That doubling of money is only based on the income rider. Wait, what? Yeah. They're trying to take advantage of your investing where you turn over all your money for a 5% return on your money. That pays you as income. So if your $500,000 is now $1 million, they're now going to pay you $4,000 a month for life. And when you die, it goes away. This is why we sometimes get some 70 and 80-year-olds that come meet with us as well. There is no shortage of people out there that on one spectrum been taken advantage of. On the other spectrum, people we can help. That's why fee only is crucial. Stop saying fee-based. Fee-based is not us. They still have to carry licenses. They still have a broker-dealer. We are not fee-based. We are fee only. We have no broker-dealer affiliation. We can only get paid directly from the client. No third party, no revenue share funds, nothing. So we're taking it from a simple conversation of try to save on Netflix, on Amazon, or whatever the case may be. Try to save that couple $100s a year. To the other extreme is of a compounding effect of saving and maxing out your retirement account, then your Roth, and so on. So now you're in a situation where you feel comfortable and confident. And this is where, in addition to the first part of people in the early stages where we like to give advice so they remember us and they come back later. We've been doing this for a decade now, and we've helped tens of thousands of people. And we want to continue to add to that because we're really good at what we do. You can go on our awards and recognition page and see all the awards and recognitions that we've had. And it's not just the Gabriel show. We have multiple advisors that have been recognized in the industry for their fantastic work. Our job is we hire the best. And those that don't look at dollar sign when they see people, they look at them as humans, individuals that can make an impact on their life. This is why we're offering a pre-financial assessment where we're giving 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time at no cost. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. And we're able to answer those questions that you have. And more importantly, once you share a little bit about yourself, we're able to tell you things that you most likely didn't even know. That's why we have, between our location, all our locations, over 200 5-star Google reviews. Why? It's because of you. We can't work with everybody. We just can't, right? There's situations where we're just kind of telling them the 3 to 5 to 10 different things they have to do, and they come back at step 7. And we've had people that came back with a crumpled up yellow paper saying from 6, 7, 8 years ago. We just recently had somebody from 2015 that came back. Think about that for a second. And was a client with became a client. I think I mentioned this on another show, maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Why? Because we were honest, we were genuine, and we just want to help. I feel personally, if we selflessly want to help everybody, it will selfishly benefit us later. Whether it's from the person coming back 10 years later, almost, or it's from somebody saying, this is a fantastic firm. I couldn't work with them because I didn't have exactly the amount of money or liquid assets that they needed. We are a for-profit company, but we are comfortable giving 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time to help. I take great pride when I go to the grocery market near my house and people recognize who I am. I love that. Versus other advisors that, oh my gosh, I saw somebody I sold an annuity or insurance product to. I'm going to run down the other aisle so I can avoid that. Much different experience, if you know what I mean. Oh, folks, that was a fast show. I want to thank you for tuning in with us this weekend. You can always reach myself or any one of my colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can put an inquiry, where we can reach out to you and we can talk. And our Knowledge Center, click that. It also has a link to the YouTube where you can get so many great videos where we're able to answer the questions that you have, that you've sent us at radio@falconwp.com. I challenge you to go ahead and send us a question you have at radio@falconwp.com. Folks, I want to thank you for tuning in. I want you to have a fantastic weekend. Have a great week, and God bless.